Hi, welcome to another episode of Foxy Little Nuggets, the only news roundup where the world might be collapsing, but at least we're minuting it as it's happening. First up, defence. Starmer is reportedly looking for money to fund long-delayed defence investment plan by trimming capital budgets elsewhere, including net zero projects. This has incensed, as you can imagine, one Ed Miliband. So after months of being told Ed Miliband's Green Revolution was sacred, it turns out it's slightly less sacred than a Russian submarine coming up the Thames. Funny how priorities change, isn't it? When all five of your hunter-killers are sitting in a port and your main aircraft carrier's broken in Norway. Deary me, having a little lie down. It's our defence posture at the moment, which is a weird one. It seems to be we're fully committed to deterrence, subject to parts availability, and can we not do it at the weekends? We like to have a little lie-in on a Sunday. Unbelievable rubbish, isn't it? Second item here we got is Labour versus Reform. Now, it's ongoing. It's an ongoing battle, but ministers are apparently considering targeted tax breaks for small businesses in areas where Reform is breathing down Labour's necks, basically paying for votes. So in areas where it's neck and neck and Reform are likely to take it by a small margin, Labour are going to give tax breaks in those areas. Isn't that marvellous? So not exactly discovering a bold new economics plan. It's good Lord, the voters have found another party. Quick, let's bribe them. Let's hide business rates. Let's have a little business rates holiday or something. So that maybe they'll think, aren't Labour nice? We'll vote for them instead. People aren't stupid. This isn't levelling up anyway, is it? It's panicking sideways, backwards, inside out. Labour are absolutely desperate. And that desperation it's just oozing out of them. Labour spent years sneering at people who complained their towns had been ignored. Now those same towns are being offered emergency funding, so long as they don't vote for Nigel. It's unbelievable. It's basically corruption, though, isn't it? We'll pay you money if you vote for us. Eek. We're going to talk about Brexit. Smug gittery from the Brexit lot because their little petition has hit the 100,000, and they think, yay, we're going to re-enter the EU now. No, it's only a discussion. That's only if the MPs actually want to discuss it. But there's been polling which shows that 60% of people would rather Britain, remained in control of Britain. But Labour is now reportedly preparing to rethink its Brexit red lines before the next election, because it's looked at people's responses and they've gone, this Brexit thing, it's very unpopular. This Brexit rethink, this rebranding, this closer alignment to the EU is very unpopular. What can we do? Well, it'll be another U-turn then, is it? The master of spin and U-turns spins and U-turns again. The trouble with Labour is they never really accepted Brexit. They accepted not talking about it, at least. And now that they're talking about it, they found out that the public don't want it. And so it's like, okay. They're saying it's a reset. We're just having a reset. We're not rejoining. They're desperate to say that they're not rejoining, but this reset, which means closer alignment, taking the rules, not making the rules. And people aren't stupid again. So they're saying, calling it a reset is like saying it's a rapid vertical repositioning event, when actually, you fell down the stairs. But this is the problem. The voters were promised sovereignty, and handing sovereignty back to the EU is not sovereignty, it's enslavement. So, Labour don't really know where to go on that one, do they? They're buggered. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I want to talk about Freeview. This is a cracker. I mentioned this, I think, in a video earlier. But the Labour MPs now are about to rebel on this. Another rebellion for Starmer. Starmer wants to switch off main television that he comes through on Freeview so that he can clear the airwaves and sell off the bandwidth. But backbenchers are saying no, they're not having it. They're not going to vote for it. And he's got a rebellion on his hands. because a lot of people, particularly in the rural areas, don't have adequate or even at all broadband. Many people don't want broadband. Some people can't afford broadband, and so forth. Older people don't want the effort. And so Labour MPs are warning Starmer not to switch off terrestrial television. There's around 10 million homes affected, and that's quite a bit. And given that most of these will be poorer homes, they are traditionally the ones that would vote Labour. And that's the problem. People most reliant on it are the older, poorer, rural, or living in towns where Labour's majority is thinner than a BBC diversity excuse. So, they're kind of like, hey, don't do this, we'll lose loads of votes. And the trouble is, for especially pensioners, older people, that area on the roof, that isn't nostalgia. It's the only way they get to watch TV. It's the news for them. It's the news. It's occasional football match. It's their soap opera. A bit of Corrie. And some people, it's just a bit of company for them to live alone. Old elderly person, those familiar faces reading the news or whatever, and that's their chums. It's sad, but it's true. These people are forced to have broadband put in. Well, unless they got grandchild, it ain't going to happen, is it? Don't know how to use this newfangled interwebs. There we go. So switching off Freeview is not modernisation. It's just a terrible thing to do. It's removing something from people that they've had their whole lives and doing it for shitty reasons, I'm afraid. There we go. There is, thankfully, all this downturn. There is some good news. We're going to go up to Holy Island. This one is Lindisfarne on the northeast coast. Do you know how to think about that? Conservationists have helped little terns bounce back. They're very endangered, the little terns. I've had a little tern myself. But those breeding pairs are rising dramatically after very careful protection of their nesting areas. Isn't that nice? Tiny little birds, but apparently a big result. It's a useful reminder. If it goes to show, if we stop dicking around as human beings and actually take a bit of time and effort to care for things, we can actually be a force for good. We stop trampling all over things, shouting slogans and forming committees. Sometimes just leaving things alone is often good enough, isn't it? If only government could understand, sometimes leaving things alone is the best thing you can do. So there we are. The submarines are sleeping. Labour is bribing the high street. Brexit is being rebranded. Freeview may be sent to the glue factory, but there's a little fight over that. And the little terns are having a better week, I think, than the Prime Minister. Admittedly, so is most pond life. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much. Goodbye.